Hello and welcome back to another Flash Learn devlog. I know I've been out for a couple of weeks, but now I'm back with new updates. So the biggest new update is that I've shifted completely over from React to Flutter. So as you can see over here, this beautiful little UI is designed in Flutter. As for why I've switched to Flutter, it's because React and TypeScript was giving me a lot of headaches. Flutter, on the other hand, has been a breath of fresh air to work with. So almost all the functionality has been implemented. You can create a new deck. You can edit decks. You can add cards. You can delete the deck if you want to. You can also browse the cards that are in these decks. You can also select columns that you want to see and so on. So everything that I could do in the React app, I can also do in the Flutter app, with the additional bonus of having only one code base and being able to ship to iOS, Android, web, whatever, wherever I want to, I can do it. Yeah, so other than migrating to Flutter, the other big feature that I managed to finish was the study mechanism. So these two buttons over here are basically the study mechanism buttons. So there is the study normally and the study with AI. So let's click on the study normally first. So yeah, this is the traditional Anki-like interface for studying. You have the question over here. You have the tags for this card, and you have an undo button over here. You have a flagging button over here. If I click on this, I can flag the card. And then you have a show back. So basically, it's just like Anki. You see the question and you try to answer it in your head, and then you click on show back to see the answer. So this is the answer. And then you're presented with four options to rate your answer. Yeah, so if I click on good, and then we go to the next question, we can also go to the previous question if we click on undo over here. So here we go back to the previous question. Good. All right, so what is whatever. So let's just click on again. Maybe that's hard. Maybe that's easy. All right, so this is the finishing. So you're all caught up for now, and you click on finished. So over here now, you can see a couple of things. So this is basically saying how many cards are due that you are learning. This is basically, this is basically learned. This is basically learning or relearning count. And then this is basically new card count. So over here, we have two new cards. Yeah, and then we have additional stuff over here. Previously, I was only showing like the deck name and deck description over here. And then when you click on this card, you would be going to another page. Now everything is just shown right over here. So these different things are the creation date, then we have the modification date, last study date, and this is the total number of cards. All right, now that we have seen the normal study mechanism, let's go and check out the study with AI. So if I click on this, now you have an additional text box where you can type in the answer. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. And you also have like a timer over here. So this timer is basically measuring how long it takes you to answer this question. So let me just answer this question real quick. Principal component analysis, and then reveal. Yeah, so here's the expected answer, and here is the answer that I typed in. And what this is for, what is happening here is basically I am taking the time, question, expected answer, and my answer, and then feeding it to an LLM. If I could type LLM properly. Anyway, so the LLM is actually taking all of this data and then trying to judge it. So based on these factors, it's going to give me these feedback criteria. So if I clear all of this, so correct is basically saying, hey, is your answer and the expected answer matching for this specific question? If it is, then you're correct. Fast is basically timeliness. So based on the length of this answer and the time it took you to type it in, did you answer it fast or slow? And then easy is basically the same as the previous options or answer ratings in the normal study mechanism. So it could be, again, hard, good, or easy. The only difference is that this time the LLM is actually going to be judging you and giving you the answer rating instead of you giving it yourself. The benefit is that, one, you can't really cheat. You have to actually answer it properly if you want to get an easy rating or a good rating. If you get it wrong, the LLM will judge you and then give you a wrong answer. So it kind of forces you to study a little bit more mindfully. Anyway, so if I click on next, it's going to go to the next one, and then we can answer these questions, this question again. So, what graph do you use to find the optimal number? This is a scree plot, reveal, and then, yeah, so the LLM answered pretty quickly this time. It got correct, fast, and then easy. So, next, I think we're done. Yeah, you're all caught up. As for the LLM, if I come over here to my agentic system real quick, we have a source, we have prompts, but yeah. So this is what the LLM is kind of saying. This is a prompt that is still kind of in the works. Yeah, so the LLM is basically told to judge based on two criteria, timeliness and correctness. And I give it some examples. Here's an example, and then I tell it to evaluate based on this question. And the LLM is going to see these examples and try to answer the question that I feed it. So if I go into the prompt mechanism, yeah, so create system prompt is basically creating this prompt over here, excluding the last few section. And then when I come to the user prompt, this is basically what question is being actually asked. Yeah, so let's see how much of the stuff I've actually implemented. So regular studying I actually got done. Custom study is still I haven't implemented, so I'll implement it in the next couple of weeks. Authentication mechanism is also another big part that I haven't implemented yet, so I'll have to get working on this. Managing data, we can create and edit decks. Export deck data, we still haven't done this. Edit remove cards, that one is done. Browser is pretty much done. You can search for cards, you can filter cards, view study stats. So the main things that I have left to do is view study stats, export deck data, custom study, and then authentication. So next week, probably what I'm going to do is implement the RAG pipeline and do this custom study. I'll try to finish this one as well. It shouldn't be too hard to export all of the data. And the following week, I'll probably do this one, which is the view study stats. Finally, this one, which is going to be authentication. So that's all for this week's video. Hopefully next week I'm back on schedule with the uploads. So catch you guys in the next one.